Here's another Cartesian front study, which I found. It's about a deadly flu outbreak in Wuhan, which never happened. So in July 2020, Dong and friends, all from the Wuhan Institute of Virology, published a paper called Human H9N2 Avian Influenza Infection, Epidemiological and Clinical Characterization of 16 Cases in China. The title is a bit misleading because it's not human H9N2 avian influenza infection, it's an outbreak of H2N2 avian influenza in Wuhan, which occurred according to the paper, between January and February 2019. What they describe is an avian influenza strain which was able to transmit through humans, through human to human contact. What the hell is this? That's my face. So they describe human to human H2N2 transmission, which is the first time a zoonotic influenza, so an influenza from a source which is not human, in this case poultry, was able to transmit from human to human. Usually it's only rare cases of someone inhaling chicken shit dust. And the concern was that if it can acquire the ability to transmit from human to human, if it gained the function of human transmission, then it would be, it has the potential to spread and cause really high numbers of deaths. In this case, the fatality rate was 25%, very, very high. So, despite the slightly misleading title, just downplaying what they describe, even so, it should have been a huge deal, assuming it happened. And we sort of assume it's been published, right? So it must have happened. But did it happen? Got removed. So the whole paper was removed, was retracted, as we say. Basically, the authors of the paper say, well, we made a mistake, and what we published didn't happen as we described it. So that's what a retraction means. Considering they published actual sequences, you have to ask yourself, what does this retraction mean? And it's not clear. One other thing that's really unclear is why you never heard of it, or why, unless I was somewhat obsessive, I would not have heard of it. You would have expected at least the CDC to make some inquiry about it, because until it was retracted, it was published. And it happened in Wuhan, and it happened in 2019, January, February. So, assuming that you believe that it's kind of a big deal for a biologist, or an epidemiologist at least, it's sort of interesting that almost no one heard about it. So this is the first part. Now, it's weird because the paper was published in July 2020 and the thing happened in January, February 2019. So they took their time publishing it, like a 1 year half delay, which is a lot. Like, just in context, imagine that the virus, imagine that they did not report COVID until now, and imagine that, which is a hard thing to imagine, I think, which is it's an actual deadly pandemic, then the whole world would be kind of dying and dying and dying, and nobody would know why, because the Chinese are not there to help us identify what happened. So that's pretty insane, huh? But it gets more insane. So they publish a paper, and they also publish sequence data for these 16 patients. After they publish it, about a month after they publish it, someone from the WHO, so the WHO has these regular meetings on regarding influenza, and they found that there were these sequences. So they asked for more information. So the Chinese representatives said, okay, we will get back to you. Then they conducted a second search to verify the data, and what they found was that they can't find anything. So they got back to the CDC and said, well, we're sorry, but apparently it was a mistake. At the same time, they also retracted the paper and removed the sequences. Now the weird thing, another weird thing, this is already very weird. It seemed to have been the end of the whole incident. So the WHO said, okay, forgot about it. Nobody else asked any questions. Definitely not Antonio Fauci or Jen Psaki or Rochelle of the CDC. And that's it. End of story. But I'll summarize why it's interesting. Human-to-human transmission of this kind of influenza is huge. So if you look at the WHO's the World Health Organization website, look for avian influenza or zoonotic influenza reporting requirements. You will see that anything of this sort should be reported immediately. So that, okay, they fucked up. So if it happened, then there's a lot of open questions. For example, was it ever contained? You're saying that you identified these things. Were any cases identified anywhere else in China? Because these cases are from Wuhan, which is a gigantic city, and apparently it had human-to-human transmission. So probably were a few more infections than 16, right? These are only the 16 that got to the hospital. So how far did it spread? When was it contained? How many people died? What happened to it? You know, all interesting. Why did it take you 1.5 years to report it? I mean, if it happened, it's huge. So why didn't you tell anyone about it? And then why would you publish it? But then when people ask what happened, and people were bound to ask what happened because, as I'm saying, it's a huge deal. So you say, well, you know what, never mind. Never happened. Why? Why? I don't even see how I don't really see why it's good for anything except for sowing confusion, right? I mean, what's the point? Either you hide it and then you hide it, and that's okay if you're an asshole, or you report it and then you're good. But being an asshole and then saying, well, I was an asshole, and then when people ask you, were you an asshole? No, actually, no, it was a mistake. It's just fucking bizarre. Because why would you make something like this up? Because you can't really make, you can't make a mistake like that, right? Did you make all these up? Because you actually, for a sequence, you actually have to write the sequence. Where did you get the sequence? Did you just copy paste it from something? I mean, how stupid are you? And I don't think they're that stupid. I don't think they made up a sequence. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like a 10,000 base pair sequence. It's a lot of letters to make up. And even if you make it up, why not publish immediately? Why wait for a year? And then why retract it? What's the point? This is all weird. Maybe Fauci knows.
Algo allí tuvo una buena predicción.
Gracias. If you liked this video or found it interesting, then you would hit the like button. If you subscribe to this channel, then I will have more than 3 subscribers. That's about it. Thank you very much. Have a great fight.